hearts and minds of our people, blacks and Hispanics, and learn the truth that they are the biblical 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Disobedience to God's laws has been the root of all our troubles. Blacks and Hispanics everywhere suffer the same racial, social, economic problems worldwide. Voting has not helped us. Christian churches have failed us. It's time for a change. In these last days, we must give the Bible's medicine to sick people. Then and only then will things begin to change. Okay. So Deuteronomy 28, verse 15. Isaac, you want to read that? Deuteronomy 28, verse 15. It's on the screen. No, right in front of you.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So if we don't observe God's commandments, curses will come upon us. It says, all these curses shall come upon us. God's religion is his commandments. Let me say it again. God's religion is his commandments. He never gave Roman Catholic. He never gave Baptist. He never gave no Holiness Church. He never gave Episcopalian or Anglican. All those things were created and invented by Europeans. Next, read that.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Let's deal with this. Read on. Come on. So, during the colonial period, the government urban planning favored European settlers, leading to the creation of segregated living areas. Africans were forced to live in overcrowded and unsanitary conditions, which are the current slums today. This slum include Mathari, y'all forgive me if I mispronounce it, Nathari, Koriobangi, Mukuro, Inkioli, and Kibera, which is the largest slum in Africa. Next. This one says, cursed shalt thou be in the city. So there's more examples of us being cursed in cities. Kenya, Africa is the richest continent on earth, but you're kept at a poor condition because of Europeans, the IMF, and the World Bank. Read that.
Cursed shalt thou be in the field. In 1913, the government passed a land bill that gave the white British settlers 999-year leases on the land and imposed a hut tax on the native Africans, effectively creating a monopoly on land use. This forced the native Africans to work on white plantations as free labor, since they could not afford to pay the hut tax. This still goes on today, where the native Africans work long hours for meager pay on the white settler farms such as Delamere, Del Monte, and Finlays, etc.
Next. So these are some examples here. Natives planting tea during colonial era. And these things still going on today. You'll get paid like $1 a day to pick this. It gets sent to Britain or America, processed, and sent back here and sold to you for $15, $20. Tea, I'm talking about tea. Next. There's some more about being cursed. Cursed shalt thou basket. Read that, Deacon.
Yes, sir. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 17. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store.
So your basket deals with your wealth, sitting on wealth. Survey shows 970 minerals across the country. You have copper, magnesium, iron, graphite, and I can't read that one. The Big Conservative is a book that explains the big conservation lie. Okay, look here, you got baobab trees harvested for export to Georgia. Book of Ken's Resources, this is the book. Kenyan minerals, and you don't benefit from your own minerals. Next, read that.
Verse 18. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind and the flocks of thy sheep.
Yeah, when we were in the hotel, you see things like African exploration anthology, where Europeans took little boys and little girls. This is what they do here in Kenya. We're at the hotel, and there was a black man, Kenyan, who had a little black child. The brothers thought it was father and son, but it wasn't father and son. As soon as two Europeans came downstairs, he gave the little boy to the European couple, and they gave him an envelope. He walked away and left the child. That's called child trafficking. Child trafficking. That's what they do here in Kenya. Okay? And we bring it out with the enemy. Read that.
Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind and the flocks of thy sheep.
So, cursed shall be the fruit of your. God got it twice. Cursed shall thou be the fruit of thy land. That's teas and things of that nature. The increase of thy kind, that's cattle, and the flocks of thy sheep. Next one. Read that.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 18. During slavery, the slave traders would carry the slaves' livestock together with the slaves to be used as food for the long journey to the slave markets and ports.
And remember that these curses would happen to the Israelites. We're proving that we are the Israelites. Next. Read that.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 19. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out.
You wouldn't know your identity when you're born or you die. You would be lost in these religions that you're in. End of suffering for Kenyans in Gulf Saudi Arabia. 14. Present-day Kenyans working unskilled jobs in Middle East and being treated as slaves. And none of the African countries do anything about it. Next.
Verse 20. The Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke in all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me.
See, we forsook God when we broke all his commandments. So these are the curses that will come upon us because of the wickedness of thy doings. Talking about the Israelites. Got it? Next. Read that.
Cursing, vexation, and rebuke. You have high cost of living and corruption, unemployment, and police brutality in Kenya.
Next.
Verse 21. The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, until he have consumed thee from off the land, whither thou goest to possess it.
Disease. Next. Children, cholera kills 13 in Kenya. 28 million. These are the diseases that have struck Kenya. HIV prevalence in Kenya. This is because we're breaking the law, thou shalt not commit adultery. This is why. Kenya's cancer burden. Top 10 female cancer cases. Top 10 male cancer cases. Next. So those are the pestilences. Go ahead, D.
Verse 22. The Lord shall smite thee with a consumption, and with a fever, and with inflammation, and with extreme burning, and with the sword, and with blasting, and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish.
So God's curses would pursue us until we be destroyed, until thou perish. Next. Read.
And thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron.
Next. This is what it means. When it talks about your heaven would be iron, and your ground, or around your ankles would be iron and brass. The brass they had here on the slave shackles. Okay, that's what the British did. This is what the British did to the sons and daughters in Kenya that were shipped off to other European countries. Next. These bells are brass. These are iron. So your heaven would be brass, your earth would be iron. This is what it's talking about. Slavery. Next. Read.
The Lord shall make the rain of thy land powder and dust, From the heaven shall it come down upon thee, until thou be destroyed.
Go ahead, next. So here's an example. Most of Kenya's landscape is semi-arid, especially in the northern parts, with little to no rainfall. So that's what the scripture's talking about would happen. Next, read.
The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into all kingdoms of the earth.
So when we fought against the British here in Kenya, you were defeated. Kenyans were defeated by thine enemies. The Bible doesn't say friends, it says enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them, like the Mau Mau rebellion. Next. So this is what happened. They took your sons and daughters from Kenya, Morocco, Biafra, West Central Africa, and sent a lot of them to Brazil and various other lands as slaves. This is what the Bible is prophesying would happen to us. Even to Saudi Arabia. This is how many of your people, our people, became Muslim through the Arab slave trade. We became Christian through the European slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade. Next.
And thy carcass shall be meat unto all fowls of the air, and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away.
Next. Deuteronomy 28, this is 26, Karisa College Massacre. Look at this. Shakahola Cult Massacre. Terrible, terrible. Next. Read.
Verse 27, the Lord will smite thee with the botch of Egypt, and with the emeralds, and with the scab, and with the itch, wherefore thou canst not be healed.
Good. So you got internal hemorrhoids, that's the emeralds. External hemorrhoids as well. These are the plagues that God put on us. Next. Read.
The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. Verse 29, and thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways.
So here in Kenya, you don't prosper in your ways. Go ahead.
And thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled.
Is Kenyans oppressed? Yes, it said oppressed and spoiled evermore. You're oppressed. You're an oppressed people. Go ahead.
And no man shall save you.
No man can save you. And this is the truth that we're bringing out to our people in Kenya. We fall under the curses of Deuteronomy 28 as the Israelites. Go ahead. Okay. Next. Kenya's mental health problem. Yeah, I really do believe it's a mental health problem when you believe in white Jesus and you have no biblical proof. That is a mental health problem. Causes of depression. Biological changes during pregnancy, genetics, psychological risks, social factors. Next. Okay. Free Franny, free Osama Otero, free Dre Mwangi. I can't see that one. Kwan something. These are chopped off. Okay, but these were the abductions that happened to our people. Okay, reject finance bill 224, occupy parliament, failed health system. These are the curses God said would happen to the Israelites, proving we are the Israelites. Read. Next.
Verse 30, thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her.
Yeah, you were married, the British took your wife and had sex with her. That's what the British did here in Kenya. Go ahead.
Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein.
You build houses, and the British took your houses from you. Go ahead.
Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof.
Right, because the British took your vineyards and your grapes. Next. So here's some paintings, 3 young white men and a black woman in 1632. They were raping black women throughout Kenya. Virginia luxuries. This is his wife. The white man takes it and beats the husband. Go ahead, next. Here's some more from the movie 12 Years a Slave. He took the married woman and sexed her. Next. Next. Read.
Verse 31. Thine ox shall be slain before thine enemies, And thou
Before
shalt,
thine eyes.
thine ox shall be slain before thine eyes, and thou shalt not eat thereof. Thine ass shall be violently taken away from before thy face,
Your animals, go ahead.
and shall not be restored to thee.
Mm-hmm.
Thy sheep shall be given unto thine enemies, and thou shalt have none to rescue them.
Next. So here's an example. During the slave raids, the livestock were taken by the slave raiders to be used as food for the long journey to the slave ports and markets. Next. Read.
Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Were your sons and daughters given to another people? Yes, your sons and daughters were given to the British. Go ahead.
And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
They took your sons and daughters and sent them to Europe and America and Saudi Arabia. Go ahead.
And there shall be no might in thine hand.
No political might, no economic might, no military might to get your sons and daughters back. Go ahead. Now you're so crazy. You think the people from America are foreign when most of the Americans came from here. A lot of you don't know history. Read.
Slaves and their captors on deck of HMS London, had they not been rescued, these gaunt men, women, and children would have been confined in Zanzibar's barracoons, fattened up for a few weeks, and then put on sale. Child trafficking for labor and sexual abuse is rampant in Kenya.
We are humans and not commodities. Stop child exploitation. And your churches don't speak about this. We're the only ones that speak about this. Next.
Verse 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always, so that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see.
So notice it says the fruit of your land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up. Did the British come here and eat up all your resources? Yes. It says, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always. That's Bible prophecy. So we know the people of Kenya are Israelites. Next. Read that.
You have the Delamere Farm, a white settler in Kenya. You have the Lipton Tea Plantation, also in Kenya.
Next.
Verse 35. The Lord shall smite thee in the knees and in the legs with a sore botch that cannot be healed, from the sole of thy foot unto the top of thy head.
Next. This is what it's talking about. Disease. Next. More diseases. Next. Okay.
The Lord shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. And there shall thy serve other gods, wood and stone.
So the kings that were initially set up here throughout Kenya were conquered and destroyed by the British. And when they enslaved you, they taught you to worship other gods, gods of wood and gods of stone. The gods of wood is Christianity, the wooden cross of Jesus, white Jesus, and stone, that's Islam. You worship the Kaaba stone in Islam. Go ahead, next. Read that.
This is the Alabon Lanana signed an agreement that gave the British land in most part of Kenya. The other picture. African presidents recently riding on a common bus in London during Queen's funeral.
They gave the European presidents vehicles, Cadillacs, things of that, with chauffeurs. They gave the African presidents a bus. And nobody sees nothing wrong with that. The disrespect. Go ahead.
Komorak Shrine, Kangunda Road, Kenya. Vincentia Prayer House, Lavington, Nairobi.
Next.
And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee.
So a proverb and a byword is you're going to lose your identity. You will lose your identity as the Israelites. Next. What's this one? Next. Go ahead.
Thou shalt carry much seed out into the field, and shalt gather but little, for the locust shall consume it. Thou shalt plant vineyards and dress them, but shalt neither drink of the wine nor gather the grapes, for the worms shall eat them. Thou shalt have olive trees thoroughly throughout all thy coasts, but thou shalt not anoint thyself with the oil, for thine olive shall cast its fruit.
So your crops would go bad here in Kenya. Next. Go ahead.
Kenya is the leading producer of tea worldwide and a leading coffee producer. Despite all this, most Kenyans do not profit from the natural resources within the country, since they are owned by other nationalities who came in as settlers during the colonial era. Most Kenyans work in these plantations as unskilled and semi-skilled labor and underpaid.
Wow. Next.
You have the coffee plantation and you also have the tea plantation.
Next.
Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them.
Why?
For they shall go into captivity.
Your sons and daughters here in Kenya back in the 1600s, 1500s were taken as slaves to the UK and America and Saudi Arabia. That's what captivity means. They will go into captivity. Next.
Children working at an illegal gold mine in Magori, Kenya.
Next.
All thy trees and fruit of thy land shall the locust consume.
Next.
Locust plague in northern Kenya, 2020 to 2022.
Bible prophecy. Go ahead.
Verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high.
They will become the head. Go ahead.
And thou shalt come down very low.
The British came up very high, and Kenyans came down very low. Go ahead.
Thou shalt plant vineyards and dress them, but shalt neither drink of the wine nor gather the grapes, for the worms shall eat them.
Great.
He shall lend to thee.
So Britain and America lends to Kenya. That's called foreign aid. Go ahead.
And thou shalt not lend to him.
And you shall not lend to him. So that would happen. This is daily. This happens. Go ahead.
He shall be the head.
The white man shall be the head nations.
And thou shalt be the tail.
Kenya is the tail of all nations. Next. Read that.
Indian Ray family owns most consumer companies in Kenya.
Damn. Go ahead.
China's debt is about 10% of Kenya's total national debt, accounting for 72% of its bilateral debt, over 22% of the country's total external debt, while 90% of the country's repayment of bilateral debt is to Beijing.
Wow. I was just looking up statistics. They said Kenya owes America like $40 trillion. Huh? Go ahead.
Verse 45. Moreover,
You think you can pay back $40 trillion? You can't pay that back. You're in a debt that you cannot get out of. Go ahead.
verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed.
So all the curses that God said would happen pursued us and overtook us, and now we're destroyed as a people. Right?
Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
Because you did not listen to God Almighty. Right?
to keep his commandments.
See that? To keep his commandments. He never gave you these religions that you're in Kenya. God gave you commandments, and you broke everyone as you do today. Go ahead.
And his statutes which he commanded thee.
Read.
And they
Meaning the curses, that's the they.
shall be upon thee for a sign.
So whoever these curses fit, slavery, loss of identity, it's a sign that they're the Israelites. Read again.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
Meaning, and upon thy children forever. That's why there's no difference between the 15 and 1600s until 2025. You've been destroyed as a people, and you have remained that way. Next.
Verse 47. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness.
See that? None of you here in Kenya serve the Lord your God with joyfulness. You celebrate Christmas, which is not in the Bible. You celebrate Easter. You celebrate Valentine's Day, all pagan holidays. You don't celebrate none of God's holidays. Go ahead.
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things.
The 12 tribes of Israel were supposed to rule the earth. That's what it means, for the abundance of all things. We were supposed to rule the earth. But we broke God's commandments. Read.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
Notice the word. You would serve thine enemies. You thought the British was your friends? God says they are your, look at the word, thine enemies. Go ahead.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
So the Lord sent Britain against you. Go ahead.
In hunger,
And for food,
and in thirst,
for water,
and in nakedness,
for clothing.
and in want of all things.
If you want anything, if you want all things, you got to go to your enemy, thine enemies. Like your educational system here in Kenya is based on Britain. You don't have your own history. You go to your children go to schools and learn about British conquest. Read.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
That's called slavery. Go ahead.
Until he have destroyed thee.
See that part? Until he have destroyed thee. When did the yokes of iron come off the necks of our people? When we were mentally destroyed. Now when we tell you that Jesus is black, you fight us, you curse us. Why? Because you're destroyed. You're mentally and spiritually destroyed as a people. You hate yourself and you hate the Bible. Read.
Verse 40.
All right, so these are your man-made religions. John Smith created the Baptist religion in 1608. Where were we in 1608? Slavery. Charles Parham created the Pentecostal religion in 1901. Where were we? Colonization, colonialism. Joseph Smith created the Mormon religion in 1830. Where were we? Slavery. Charles T. Russell created the Jehovah's Witness religion in 1872. Where were we? Slavery. And William Miller created the Seventh-day Adventist religion in 1853. This is why we tell y'all, all the religions you follow was created by the white man. All of them. Your slave masters. Next. What is certificate of birth? Certificate of death. Read that.
That's the certificate of...
No, this one, a complete guide.
A complete guide to get a medical visa to India from Kenya.
Next. What is this? Kikuyu, Imbu, and Meru. Special tax, 1957. Next. So these are the yokes of iron that was put on black people's necks. Your sons and daughters that were taken from Kenya, this was put on their necks. Yokes of iron. This is Bible prophecy. Bible prophecy, and nobody talks about it. Next. Read.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flies.
So what's America's symbol? The eagle. What was Rome's symbol? The eagle. What was the Greek symbol? The eagle. What was Britain's symbol? The eagle. Go ahead.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
You didn't know that English language here in Kenya. They forced that on you. Go ahead.
Verse 50. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
They were slaughtering us. Next. So here's America's symbol, the eagle. These are the different European nations whose symbol was the eagle. Germany, the eagle. Rome, the eagle. Spain, the eagle. Go ahead. Read that.
No regard to the old or young.
Right. Europeans didn't care if you were old or young. You went into slavery. Go ahead.
Video of Chinese man beating up a Kenyan worker.
Y'all got that video? No? Okay.
Yeah.
Next.
Verse 51. And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle.
The he is the white man. The white man shall eat the fruit of thy cattle.
And the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed. Which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kind, or flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed
So
thee.
you've been destroyed here in Kenya. Go ahead.
And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates, until thy high and fence walls come down, wherein thou trustest throughout all thy land. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates throughout all thy land, which the Lord thy God hath given
So that also happened in 70 AD with Rome. Next. Jerusalem, the destruction of Jerusalem, when millions of us fled into inner Africa, Eastern Africa, and Western and South Africa. Next. Read.
The siege of Jerusalem relief.
Next. Go ahead.
53. And thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body,
your children.
the flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters, which the Lord thy God hath given thee, in the siege and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee.
Read.
So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother.
Is the eyes of Kenyans evil toward his brother? Yes. Go ahead.
And toward the wife of his bosom,
Mhm.
and toward the remnant of his children which he shall leave.
Read.
So that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children
This is cannibalism. Go ahead.
whom he shall eat, because he hath nothing left him in the siege and in the straitness, wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in all thy gates.
This happened in 70 AD. Next.
That's cannibalism.
Next.
56. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter,
Hatred. Go ahead.
and toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children which she shall bear, but she shall eat them for want of all things secretly in the siege
70 AD. 70 AD. Go ahead.
and straitness, wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates.
Next. Read that. Broken. Go ahead.
Broken families.
Broken families here in Kenya. 34 average age of father at time of study. Average number of kids with child support order. Median age of father at birth of first child with child support order. 26% also care for or support children other than their own. 74% live with relatives or partners. 99% currently married. So Kenya only has a 9% marriage rate. Go ahead.
Verse 58. If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law.
See, that's God's religion right there. This law, the law is his religion. Go ahead.
That are written in this book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, the Lord thy God. Then the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed even great plagues, and of long continuance, and sore sickness, and of long continuance.
Next.
Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee.
Read.
Also every sickness,
Every sickness and every plague,
which is not written in the book of this law,
HIV, syphilis, gonorrhea, for example, right?
them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed.
This is why we showed you the statistics of the diseases here in Kenya. God promised he would bring diseases which are not even written in the book of this law. Go ahead. Measles, diabetes, flu virus, COVID-19. Go ahead. HIV, cancer, chlamydia, HPV. Next. Read.
Verse 62. And ye shall be left few in number, whereas ye were as the stars of heaven for multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of the Lord thy God.
You would not obey his commandments. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoiced over you to do you good,
He wanted to set us up above all nations. Go ahead.
and to multiply you, so the Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you,
And we have been destroyed. Thus saith the Lord. Go ahead.
and to bring you to naught.
We've been brought to naught. Nothing. Go ahead.
And ye shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess
We
it.
were plucked off the land of Israel. Go ahead. Next.
Verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people,
Were some of your sons and daughters scattered among all people? Yes. Go ahead.
from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
The old wooden cross of white Jesus. You worship that. And Islam. Go back.
Go back to the
Go
picture.
back to the picture. Listen to wooden cross. Here's a Kenyan little girl kissing white Jesus with no biblical evidence that he looked like this. Here's your people in Kenya who make their Hajj. They go to Saudi Arabia, Mecca in Saudi Arabia, to kiss the black stone. So that's wood and stone. Go ahead.
Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt.
The word Egypt means bondage. The word Egypt is Greek. It means bondage, slavery. Read.
Again with ships.
How did your sons and daughters get from Kenya to America? How did your sons and daughters get from Kenya to the United Kingdom? How did your sons and daughters get from Kenya to Saudi Arabia? With ships. Go ahead.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there,
once you get off those ships, and there,
ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
Your sons and daughters were sold to the British, the Americans, the English, the Dutch, the Spanish. You were sold to Saudi Arabia as well. Go ahead.
For bondmen,
that means slave men,
and bondwomen,
slave women.
And no man shall buy you.
This word buy here means save or redeem. No man shall redeem you or save you. Next. So these are the ships that we were taken on from Kenya. These are the ships that some of your sons and daughters were taken on from Kenya. So the Bible's a true book. Your pastors don't know this. They've been taught, in fact, instructed never to teach it. But we are the prophets of the Lord. We're telling you exactly who you are. You're the Israelites the Bible speaks of. Was that it? Okay. All right, brothers and sisters. So that concludes light. So that concludes the presentation. Thank you. If y'all had any questions regarding it, you can ask. Anybody have any questions on it? No? Okay. Huh? Yes.
Was there no Africa before?
Was there no Africa before? Africa, the name Africa was put on there by Rome. Rome put that name on the continent. In the Bible, Africa is called the land. Identify who they are, the continent they live on. That's why we're here.
You have said Oloibon. It's a Kenyan, I think, freedom fighter or something.
Huh?
You have said Oloibon sold Delamere or something. Plantation.
Yes.
So
The tea plantations you're talking about, yes.
So how was that? How did you do that?
I read books. We all read books. We read history books. That helps us with the Bible because the Bible is the greatest history book on the planet. The greatest history and prophetic book. It tells you everything you want to know. It's in there. So that's how we know. Yes. Yes.
My question is in regards to attire. A lot of people are currently speaking on the purple card. There's an interview, and most people are asking why the purple color, yet the prophets before used the black color.
What prophets use black color?
I don't know.
No. Give me John 19 about Christ. What happened to Christ? This is why we wear purple. John, I think it's 19, 1 and 2, Yuri, I think.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
The book of John, chapter 19, and verse 1. Then Pilate, therefore, took Jesus and scourged him. And the soldiers platted a crown of thorns and put it on his head. And they put on him a purple robe.
So they mocked Christ with a purple robe. So that's why we chose that color. Because they mocked our Savior, now we're mocking them. The evil of the world. That's why. Any other questions? Young man, any questions? Any questions, young lady? No?
About the original Bible.
The original Bible, yes.
How did you know it was hidden?
The original Bible, when you read, during the time of the 1700s, the white man took out 14 books out of the Bible because in Jamaica and America, there was a few slaves that could read. And they would use those books as fuel of insurrection against the white man. So they took it out. So we do a lot of research on the Bible. Okay. Yes? No. Okay, if you have no more questions, then this will conclude our presentation. And we thank you all for coming. Thank you so much.